Hi and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm talking about taxes, saving money, that sort of stuff. I did put a Instagram post up and asked if anyone had any questions, so we'll be answering those at the end of the video. I'll also have little timestamps down below so you can sort of have a look at what I will be talking about and just skip to that if you wanted to. Also, I'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. So first I'll talk about them. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. For this particular video, I would highly recommend going and searching tax or money saving techniques in Skillshare because there's so many awesome classes. This particular one on pricing your work and negotiating with clients by Jessie. It talks about some great points with negotiating prices. It also talks about invoicing, which is really good for wholesale orders or orders that you're doing away from the website. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning there's no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. For the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in my description, you'll get a free trial of the premium membership so you can explore your creativity. Now back to the video. So I'd just like to put a little disclaimer out. I'm no accountant. I'm just speaking from personal experience and like what I've gone through for the last 7 years. Owning my own business and having to do my taxes and saving money as well on the side. I also have an accountant, and I'd highly recommend an accountant or a tax, someone that knows what they're doing to help you out, because it can get very tricky and can get very confusing if you don't already know what you're doing. So I thought I'd do like a little where I sort of get my money. So I started off with about $50, which I had gotten from probably my birthday or something similar, because I was 15 at the time. I didn't have a job or like any part-time job or anything that I was getting money from, and that's the money I used to put into my business. So with that money I purchased fabric glue and a couple of different fabrics, and I started making my first bows. Then I also have my Etsy account, which didn't have any upfront costs really. So to get capital to actually invest into your business, I probably wouldn't recommend a loan unless like you're going like full out. And then how I actually make my money, which is the profit from the products I sell. So you want to make profit from stuff you sell, not a loss. How I price my products is how I make my money. So you need to make sure that you price your products right, and you can always change your prices. You're better off actually charging the correct price at the start rather than charging too low. I know some people do like to lowball just so they can get sales in, but you might really be undercutting yourself way too much, especially for your time and like your hard work that goes into each handmade product. So how I price my products really goes off my price materials, my time, the packaging, promotional materials. Also have my profits. So I need like actual money on top of whatever that cost is, so I can actually make some money from it. I also include taxes, GST, 10% fees, so like Etsy fees and stuff. You want to include that all in your pricing as well. And then other business expenses like your website and your tools, etc. So that might only be like 20 or 50 cents because of how many products you're selling. If you're selling a lot like me, like little small products, but if you're selling big products, that might even be like $1 per big product. Just depends on how many products you sell each month. And then you want to check what others in the community are selling those items for. With my extra large scrunchies, I had a quick Etsy search, and the same with any of my other products. I just released a new video with stuff that I've made recently and like had a little trial of. I did like my research. I had a look on Etsy because it was just the easiest place to have a look on, and just typed in like what those products were and just had a really quick skim through, seeing like what sort of prices those base prices were, and then what were the high-end prices, determine how much that I could sell them for. So with all that out of the way, talk about Australian tax. So this is for Australian tax. It may help other places in the world. First up, Australian business number. That's an ABN. You'll need that to do your business taxes and whatnot. That is free, so you can get that from, I didn't actually search where you can get that from, probably the Australian tax place. As long as it's free, it'd be the correct place. You don't want to pay any money for that. There are places where they will sign you up and it will cost you money. Don't do that. It's very, very easy to sign up. I actually thought that ABNs actually costed money, so I was a bit reluctant to first sign up for an ABN, but it's completely free and it's so easy to do, so definitely recommend doing that when you start a business. You also could register your business name. Now my business name is registered through ASIC. Definitely recommend doing ASIC because that is around $36 per year, and it can be cheaper for 3 years. Whereas if you sign it up from a different website, it could cost you like $99 or $100. Once your business name has been around for like a year and it's time for renewal, you'll probably receive in the mail heaps of renewal notices from random places. Businesses that try and like make you pay more money just so they can renew it for you, don't fall for that, because yeah, it's so expensive. $99, like over $100, whereas it's only $36 if you do it through the actual legit website. I also have a different separate account for my business and tax and GST. Also my personals. I've got 7 accounts. I've got quite a few. This is one of the things I wish I did so much earlier on. I only started my business account about 3 years ago. I recommend separating those two things, your personal spending with your business spending, and also your personal income with your business income, because that way you can just see, like visually see if you're making a profit or a loss, if you have any money in there, if it's going in, or if you're spending too much money out of there. Whereas you could be dipping into your personal income and stuff if you were to do it the other way. For me, my personal income at the moment is my YouTube channel. I will use that to spend on my personal items, just my day-to-day life. I will not touch anything really from my Made by Taylah Rose. I actually put most of that into my savings, and I can live off my YouTube paycheck quite easily, and all my affiliate marketing stuff as well. So that's what I live off. So you know that I do have a personal sort of income that I classify as my personal. Whereas my business is more, yeah, my business stuff. And I also, my cash from markets, that is also my personal sort of thing. And I'll just spend that like on like dinners or stuff I need. I won't ever spend that on my business, just because I like to have a record of stuff I'm spending through that specific account, because it just makes tax time so much easier. If I lose a receipt, I'll be able to just see where I spent the money, and so talking about different accounts, besides my business account, I also have a tax account where I transfer money into. So I'll transfer about 30% into that account every week or so. It really depends on what sort of money I make each week. Obviously, with a handmade business, it fluctuates all the time. So I'll just transfer whatever I think is necessary into the tax account. And also I have a GST account now, so I'll transfer 10% into that account as well. Now, that seems like quite a bit. That's 40% of my total income for Made by Taylah Rose. But I like to have enough money in there, so then when the financial year comes around, or for my case, I actually do batch statements, so I do mine every quarter. So I just want to make sure I have enough money in there to like pay the government the amount of tax I owe, rather than being short. And then at the end of the financial year, I can either take that back out of my tax. After I've already paid all my taxes, I'll take that back out of my tax account and put it in my savings, or I'll leave a bit in there, that sort of thing. I also put money into my super every single week. So Superannuation Australia is something that you'll use at the end after you retire, like end of your career after you retire. So like I think you can access it at 65 maybe. Don't quote me on that, I don't know, maybe 70 years old, and it's just to sort of help you for your future. So your employer will deposit money into your superannuation every week or whenever you get paid, that sort of thing. If you don't, you should definitely check that out, because that's like actually illegal if they're not paying you superannuation, especially like after you've turned 18. So definitely check that out. And make sure you have an account open. Now, if you are a sole trader, that's the only thing you're doing as well. Like your business is the only thing that you're doing. You don't have another job. I definitely recommend putting money into your super. I can actually claim my super contributions as a tax deduction at the end of financial year. You'll have to contact super to allow you to do this, or like talk to your accountant and they can work it out for you. So I transfer money into my super account because each employer does already do that, so you should really be doing it for yourself as well. So I keep all of my business receipts as well. They are known as deductions for my business. Anything to do with my business, I will keep them. Anything that I'm unsure of, I'll keep them. And I'll ask them my accountant at the end of financial year, that sort of thing. So receipts are deductions, and probably the easiest way to explain that is if I made 100 grand, so $100,000, and I had $35,000 with receipts for my business. So that means I would actually make 65,000. So it sort of like cuts it off. It's not something, so you didn't make 100,000, what you made is 65,000. So it actually deducts it from your total and brings it back down. So that 65,000 is what I'll be paying tax on. I will not be paying tax on $100,000 because of all my deductions. So it's very important to keep all your receipts. Anything that you think that would be beneficial for your business, you'll be able to deduct. Definitely keep everything. So with your separate bank account, it's so much easier if you have a bank account for your business. So you can just go through, have a look and see each transaction is all laid out and how much money you've spent, what day it was, where it was from, that sort of thing. So you'll be able to know. I'm pretty sure you can use those as receipts, but don't quote me on that, like bank transactions. For the Australian taxes that I just searched just before, so for the 2021 year, financial year, so 0 to 18,200 is the tax-free threshold. So you pay no tax up to $18,200. You will not pay tax on that. You should still do a tax return, even though, like, you can do that online by yourself if you really wanted to. I'm not sure if you have to if you're under there. I'm not 100% sure. I always have, just because my parents have, and I just go with them to get my tax done. But recently, last 2 or 3 years, I got my own accountant, which does all my stuff for me. Yeah, so that amount up to 18,200, that's your tax-free threshold. You will not be paying tax on that. Now, $18,201 to $45,000, you'll be paying 19% tax on that. So 19 cents for every dollar between that amount. So you still won't pay that any tax on that first 18,000, but anything from the 18,201 to 45,000, you'll be paying like pretty much 19% in that gap there. You'll be paying 19% in tax. So if you think that you'll be earning under 45,000, you could be putting maybe 15% away of tax. That way you'll probably be covered at the end of the financial year quite easily, because obviously that first almost 20 grand is tax-free. Then we've got the next tax bracket, which is $45,000 to $120,000. Now that's 32.5%, and you also have to pay upwards of $5,000 towards that as well to the tax man. That's over 30%. So that's why I put 30% into my account every week, because even though I probably won't have to pay 30% of everything I earn because I'll have so many deductions, I just want to make sure that I've got enough money in there. It does seem like a lot of money, and it kind of really is. So you will need to make sure you're putting enough money aside to make sure you're not out of pocket at the end. Handmade businesses, we don't actually spend money on tax throughout the year as if you were to work at like a actual place. For me anyway, I've never had to do that. Normally you would just put it away, and then you'll have to pay whatever amount it was. So like 4 grand, 5 grand, 20 grand, you'd have to pay that at the end of your financial year. So you want to make sure you have money in a separate bank account ready for that. Otherwise you might feel quite distressed and out of pocket if you are trying to scramble money up. Once financial year comes around, you find out how much your tax bill is. So just make sure you have a tax account. If you have paid quite a bit of tax your last financial year, you may also have to pay money each quarter, like I do, just so it's not as big of a hit at the end. That also might occur, and that's, I'm pretty sure, something the tax man organizes. I'm not too sure. I just know I've had to do it. I just pay a lump sum of how much they predict I will have to spend at the end of financial year. Now we'll go right into receipts and what you can claim. So I claim just about everything for my business. This list is specifically for me. I know that certain countries you probably won't be able to claim this certain stuff, and it just might be different for other countries. So just do your own research in your specific country, ask your own accountant. Just make sure that anything I'm saying here is correct for you. But everything I've said here is correct for me, and my accountant has confirmed all this stuff that yeah, I can claim. Stuff I claim is like materials, my tools, percentage of my phone. So I claim my phone bill and stuff. And like if I purchase a new phone, I will purchase it outright, so then I can claim that. I also purchased my laptops outright, claim that. So you can claim your phones and your laptop and stuff like that, but it depreciates over the next couple of years. So you won't be able to claim, say my laptop was 3 grand, I won't be able to claim that full amount this year. It will be depreciated over the next couple of years because it's a large sort of investment. Same with cars, they depreciate, so you have to claim that over the next couple of years. Obviously I'm not an accountant, so definitely talk to your accountant about that. Because it can be a little bit confusing, but they know what they're doing, which is why I definitely highly recommend one. Hard drives, like my camera, all that sort of stuff. My cleaning products, so you can claim like your spray and wipe. Insurances, so my business insurance, I have market insurance, I also have home and contents insurance, specifically for my business and the rooms that I use. So I use 3 rooms in my house for my business. Fees, so you can claim credit card fees, shop fees, Etsy fees, that sort of stuff. You can always go back into your website or whatever you use and look through detailed analytics and find out how much fees you're using. You might have to search for that specific website and like how you actually find that, but I've been able to find it for my Shopify and my Etsy. It did take a little bit of time though to find, and a few different articles I had to read, but you definitely can find all that. Postage and shipping costs, so all my Australian Post stuff. Also packaging, so your Vistaprint, like your business cards, your tissue paper, your boxes, all that sort of stuff. Marketing, Facebook ads, so if you're paying Facebook to promote your stuff, Instagram to promote your stuff, that sort of stuff, you can all claim back on your business as deductions. Travel, so if I was to travel to Melbourne to do my markets, I can actually claim my hotel that I stay in as a business expense. So I can claim that as a deduction as well. K's on your car. So I think in Australia you can claim up to 5,000 without a book. I usually claim, yeah, around that because I can't bother doing a book. I know I'll probably do more than that. I might do that for next year, especially with me doing markets every weekend, sometimes 2 times a week, especially going to Melbourne as well. There's a lot of K's getting on my car. So I may claim that and start doing a book log. So a book log, you'll just write your start, your finish, your date with your K's and stuff. I haven't actually done it myself, so I can't really speak much on it. I just know a little bit about it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can claim the first 5,000 K's without a logbook. Accountant fees, so if you're worried about having to pay like a couple $100, my accountant is under $200, but if you're worried about paying, you know, that much money, you can actually claim it on your business the next year. My deductions for this year include the amount of money I paid my accountant last year as a deduction. So it's just so much, it's so worth it. Branded clothing, so all my jumpers and stuff that have my brand on it, I can claim. Food and like business meals. So business meals in particular, not just food in general, you can actually claim about 50%, I'm pretty sure. Now this one though, you have to be like kind of careful with it because obviously people will take advantage of that. I have actually been to a couple of business sort of meals and stuff, so, and spoke directly about my business. So I've only got maybe 2 or 3 over the past year, which I'll be claiming, just because, yeah, some people do take advantage of that and do it too much. I know this is what my accountant told me, so just to be wary of that and like don't try and claim, like you go out every week for a business meal every two days. So I only claim when you're actually doing business at a meal or like if you're getting a coffee or something. Only claim that, especially for people that have clients. So if you're going out and speaking directly to your clients and stuff, you can claim most of your meals and drinks and stuff back on deductions for your business at 50%. But yeah, just be careful about that one. So also other things you can claim, so your rent or occupancy expenses. I don't rent at the moment because I live at home for free, very luckily. So if I did though, I could claim different rooms. I'm pretty sure you actually have to divide the house, with how many rooms are in the house, and divide that by how many rooms you use for your business, and that's how much you will be able to claim back on your rents or electricity or your really anything like that. You also claim like your Wi-Fi, furniture. You'd also claim education. So when I did university last year, I could claim that on my tax deduction because it was directly correlated to my business. I was doing a business course at university, so I could claim that on my business because obviously that is what it's about. But if you're going to do like science or something and you're making handmade scrunchies, you wouldn't be able to claim that. It has to be directly related to your business. If you are doing courses, university, that sort of stuff, to be able to claim it back. And also in Australia, you will have to pay it straight out. Like you'll have to pay that tuition fee, like the $2,000 straight up. You will not be able to put that on HEX and claim it back. That's just how it works. Also, I'm not sure, but Skillshare, because it is classes and it's like content based for businesses and stuff, you may be able to actually claim that back on deductions. So definitely talk to your accountant about that, but I'm pretty sure, like from my knowledge, I haven't actually tried it myself because I haven't spoken to my accountant lately, but that for Skillshare, because you paid up front, you'd probably be able to claim that back. I'll also link below, there's like, I found a link with 101 different tax deductions. I'll link that below. Have a look at that. It's really good. It has heaps of different ones that you can claim, because yeah, it's probably going to get a bit long talking about how many deductions that I could actually claim. I claim so much. All right, so how do I actually do it? How do I even do all my taxes? So I have separate bank accounts, as I mentioned earlier. I have 7. So it just makes it easier, so I can see where the money's coming from, which ones I'm spending it out of. I also have a separate bank account for my savings as well, and it's a completely separate bank, so that's great too. I keep all my receipts for my business. I also use Excel. Now a lot of people will recommend using like a different program such as QuickBooks. I personally like Excel just because that's what I learnt on, and I just know how to use it. If you're not familiar with Excel, definitely like QuickBooks or a different app. Something you can pay a subscription to would be great, and you can also claim that back as a tax deduction as well. So I have 2 different documents for my Excel spreadsheets. I have my deductions, and then I have the money that I make, like my earnings. I separate my deductions into, these also might be different for you, like your accountant will probably tell you what needs to be separated into. But mine are separated into materials, postage, office supplies, phone fees, market store fees, and other. So I will have my spreadsheet like color coded with materials at the top, and all my materials I use, I'll put in my date, I'll put the place. So for example, I'll put like today's date, spotlight. I'll put the category, so that would be materials. Sometimes put the type. So if it's AliExpress, for example, is where I got something from, I'll put like alligator clips next to it, so I know what I've actually purchased. Whereas spotlight, I know I get materials or like, you know, fabric glues or stuff from there, so I won't usually put type in there. I'll put the amount of money I spent at that store, and then I'll put GST. You don't have to put GST obviously if you're not paying for GST, but because any receipts I purchase that have GST included, I can claim that back on my GST that I pay for my business. But I'm not going to go into GST in this video, so I just put GST in a column as well. So I just have those columns for, and up the top I'll have materials, and then I'll do that for each different section. And then at the end, like, because I know Excel pretty well, I can very easily do like the sum of everything and work it all out, how much money. And so for each category, I'll just tell my accountant how much money I've spent, and then she'll put it into the tax document that she does. So also take photos of all your receipts. Now I used to do them each financial year, and mine didn't fade at all. I always, every time I get a receipt, I'll either put them in 2 different spots. I either put it in a specific spot in my car, or I have a specific spot in my craft room, which is like a drawer. And then at the end of the year, I will know where every single receipt is because I've put them into those 2 spots. I'll get them all out, and that's when I will make my spreadsheet, and I will take photos of like maybe 5 in a photo and take a photo of them. That's just how I do it. I know you can do QuickBooks and whatnot, which you can take a photo and scans them in. I don't do that because I just can't be bothered. But like if you yeah, really into, you know, keeping track of everything, you can do that. But just the way I'm doing it now, it's working for me, even though I have like hundreds of receipts. It's just the way I prefer. I actually like sitting down and doing my spreadsheet and putting all the stuff in. Now I do it every quarter, so obviously it's a little bit easier for me because I'm not doing as many receipts at a time. But yeah, it is good to keep up to date with your receipts and stuff. So if you want to do that every month or even like every week, you can definitely do that. I just don't do that because I just don't find the time, and I'm a little bit lazy, I suppose, in that aspect. Now I also have an earnings spreadsheet, as I mentioned before. So that's where I add like my Shopify, my Etsy, my wholesales, my random orders that I get from like PayPal or bank deposits, and like markets and stuff. I'll have each, again, each title. So Shopify, I'll have a month. So I'll have like April, May, June, blah, blah, blah. I'll have how much I've earned. I usually put the fees in as well, which, you know, they're deductions for spreadsheet for Excel. But I will just put them in there just because I can, because usually when I'm finding out how much money I've made from Shopify, it also had in fees and stuff, so I'll usually just put that in there. Then I can obviously work it out at the end, just by using my formulas and stuff for Excel. Then I just give my accountant all this information. She'll specifically ask me different information, and I'll just give it to her. So if she wants to know my materials, how much I've spent on materials, I'll give her this much. If she wants to know how much money I earn from my business, I will say, well, these all together add to this much, I will tell you this much, that sort of thing. And then she will use the amount that I made and then my deductions, then minus it. So say I made, as example again, 100 grand, and then I had $35,000 in deductions. Minus that, I actually made $65,000 for the year. So that's sort of what that means. Also, if you are a sole trader doing this by yourself and wanting to purchase land in like Australia and stuff like that, you might actually find it difficult to purchase a home because even though you really earn 100 grand, with all the deductions and you can deduct so much stuff, it looks like you're not earning as much. So that's like what I'm going through right now, because I don't have a partner, I don't have really anyone else. I'm just trying to get as big as a deposit I can, because I deduct so much money. A lot of businesses will try and deduct as much as they can so they don't spend really anything on tax. They want as much deductions as they can so they can make as much money as they possibly can. But when you're trying to purchase a house, this can actually be a deterrent as well, because lenders won't see from that side. You can only lend up to 5 to 6 times the amount of money you earn. Say that I did earn like 65,000, I could only lend 5 to 6 times that much. And with like houses, you know, upwards of 500,000 to $1 million, it's not really that expensive around here that I am in, so I don't really have that issue. But if you're like closer to Melbourne, like you're looking at 700,000 to $1 million, it's gonna be really hard for you to purchase a property just being on your sole trader sort of income. Like if you're with all the deductions, like my actual broker said to me, I can either just do less deductions and pay more tax, so I'll look better to the bank, or I'll just do how I'm doing it, which is do all my deductions, and I won't look like I'm earning as much to the bank, and I won't be able to lend as much. Just a little food for thought there. Some little tips on my device and saving and stuff. So little disclaimer, I obviously live from home and I'm obviously very young. I obviously have a lot of privilege living from home. I don't have to pay rent. A lot of people cannot do that. They have to move out for other reasons. So these particular advice may not even apply to you. This is just my experience. So obviously if you can live at home, live at home. It's so much cheaper. That is currently what I'm planning to do. I do not want to rent, because I think that's like dead money, in my personal opinion, unless you like have to rent. But I do not want to rent. I want to purchase a property straight out, and I'm trying to save that massive deposit, and I want at least 20%. If not more, because of all the other fees and stuff. So when you're saving, try and save at least 10% of your paycheck. So whether that be from your actual job or whether it be from your handmade business, try and save 10% and put it in a separate bank account. So as I said earlier in this video, I have a separate bank account that I use, and it's great. It's in a completely separate bank, and I just put money in there and I don't even touch it. I don't look at it. The reason I don't touch it as well is because I lose interest on it if I actually take money out. So I'll lose like 50 bucks or something on interest if I take money out of there. So I don't want to do that. I get paid interest every month. And I also have a lot of different bank accounts. So I have ones for my personal as well as my savings. I have a backup account that if I do need money, I don't have to touch my savings. I have a different account that has a bit of money saved up in it. So if I find myself that I need to pay for something like maybe my car's blowing up or something, I don't know, I'll be able to just take money out of that and pay for it that way, rather than having to dip into my savings. If you haven't read it or listened to it, definitely recommend listening to Barefoot Investor. I quite liked all the stuff and tips he said. It's pretty good. They're on Audible and everything as well. And he'll also say invest in shares. I invest in shares now. I invest in shares and EFTs as long-term investments. So I recommend doing research on that and getting into that, especially if you're quite young. It's definitely something that you want to invest into your future. She's on the Money podcast on Spotify, and She's on the Money is also on Facebook. It's a great platform for young people, old people, and just women in general to find stuff about money. It's really good. So I definitely recommend having a look at that. Alright, so now I will go into the questions. So these are the questions that I had from my Instagram stories. Do you have a separate business account and pay yourself a percentage each week of the sales you've made in that week? So I do have a separate business account. I definitely recommend doing that. Do I pay a percentage? No, I don't. Any money that I make for my business will go into my savings or stay in my business account to be reinvested into my business. As I said earlier, I only use my YouTube money and my affiliate marketing money to sort of support myself, plus any cash I get from markets. How do you manage your expenses that can be tax deductible? So as I said earlier, I will keep every single receipt and I will put it into my Excel spreadsheet, or you can put it into any app that you want, like QuickBooks, and talk to your accountant about it at the end of the financial year. You can pretty much really deduct anything that's for your business, as long as it's like in reason. There's so much you can deduct. What's your yearly salary? I do make over 75,000 a year, obviously because I'm registered for GST, but that is before deductions as well. What percentage of income do you put aside each month for tax? So I will put 30%, as mentioned earlier, 30% for tax, 10% for GST. That will be different for everyone depending on what tax bracket you're in. It'll be different for probably different countries. That's just how much I have found is a good amount for me. Do you use business bank account? Did you open one when you first started? Yes, I do use business bank account, but I didn't have one open when I first started, and I really wish I did. If there was anything that I could have done differently when I first started my business, was to open a different account. And in saying that, it's not classified as a business account, my account that I have with Commonwealth. It's just another personal account. I didn't see the need of making it a business one. I just wanted a different account, and I just named it Made by Taylah Rose. How do you work out wholesale pricing? Half your price should be your wholesale price, and then half of that price should be your cost price. That's just a very vague example, and that's quite accurate for me as well, but like that will be different for everyone, especially handmade, because handmade takes a lot of time, especially for like crochet and like embroidery and stuff. It takes a lot of time. So whatever you think is enough for wholesale, I usually do 50%, but other people do 20 or 30, and that's heaps, especially for handmade. So whatever you feel comfortable doing wholesale pricing at. Do you have a business credit card? No, I don't. I don't believe in credit cards at all. I will never have a credit card. I don't like them. There definitely is different ways that you can have credit cards and be very responsible with them, but I find most people aren't responsible with them, and they will get in debt very quickly, and those interest fees are insane. So if you do not have a credit card, don't get one. That's like my advice for you, I guess. I'm definitely no financial advisor, but just for me personally and my personal experiences with seeing other people around me having credit cards and being in a lot of debt, I don't believe in them, and I really don't like them. Did you have to do tax when you first started your business? So no, technically I didn't pay any tax when I first started because I was under the threshold of $18,200. So I didn't have to pay any tax. Even with my other jobs, I got quite close to paying a bit of tax, but I usually got it all back. My jobs, especially my second job, it'd take 30% or something, classified as your second job. They'll take money away, but I got that all back at the end of the financial year because I was under the tax threshold. Like, what accounting software do you use? I don't use an accounting software, I use Excel. When you make money from a market, how much do you save versus how much do you spend? Any money from my markets that are done with EFT will go straight into my savings. Any money from my markets which are done with cash will go to my personal fund of funding myself. So, do you claim your rent as you work from home? So, as I said before, I live at home rent free. But if I did rent, yes, you could claim your rent. I think it would have to be a percentage. Do you have any idea of what your tax will be before you get the bill? How do you prep for it? So there's actually some great websites that you can go onto and put how much money you've made, how much deductions you have, any offsets you have, that sort of stuff. That can tell you how much money you may have to pay back in tax. I did that for last year because I had no idea how much money I would be paying for my tax, and it was quite accurate. And just make sure that when you do put that amount in, you're taking your deductions out. So as I said, with the same example, 100K minus 35K in deductions, you're only going to be needing to put 65K in as how much you've earned. Unless they have a separate part for deductions, but some of those sites don't. Okay, so hopefully it's not too long, this video, and I hope it made sense. As I said before, disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, I'm not an accountant, I'm not anything to do with any of that. I am just talking about my personal experiences and answering your questions the best of my ability. I might be wrong about things, I might have got words mixed up, and I might have messed something up. I'm really sorry if I have. If you know better, you can comment below and correct me if you like. I really hope you did enjoy watching this video and it has been beneficial to you. Wish you all the best for your future, and I hope you succeed in your business, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!